Okay, Yvette, you can still hear us?
Absolutely.
All right, very good. Okay, everybody, we are going to start. We have Mastermind live with Neil Schwartz and our very special guest, one of our own, Yvette Geater from our Long Beach office. Welcome, Yvette. Woo! All right.
Thank you.
Good job, good job, good job.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. You know, you've got that $1 million or million megawatt smile that it doesn't seem to ever get turned off either. So good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure that's part of the success, and we're going to learn more about it here. You started in real estate when, Yvette?
Great question. I got my license in the third quarter of 2018.
So 19, 20, 21. So 3 years and a half, maybe?
Right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And you came right out of the gate listing and selling houses, right?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So what brought you to real estate? I guess but maybe before that is you have your own very successful business even prior to coming into real estate, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And what is that?
It is the taxes, things that people don't like to talk about.
Right.
But yeah, I have a tax business. It's called Creative Tax in Long Beach.
Okay. And basically it's an accountancy and tax service for people?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Corporate tax returns, things like that. Yeah. Individuals.
And you've been building that business for how long?
Since 1998.
Okay. So since 1998.
Yeah.
So what, about 15 years?
More than that.
Okay. Got it. And that was a dream of yours, building your own business? What'd you do before that business?
Oh, yeah, it was. I've always had an entrepreneurship and wanted to do something and create on my own. So I wanted to be a mortician. And
really?
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't know. And my mother and my grandmother were social workers, and it was either mortician or tax, right? So my grandmother said to me, you know, not everybody dies of a heart attack. So I got the picture that things can be a little bit unsettling. And so I chose taxes because, you know, we all got to go through death or taxes. So I'd rather meet you alive than dead.
Well, I'm glad, because I would not. Yeah, I don't want to go down the mortician thing.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And no one in your family was a mortician?
No, no one.
I don't even know where this came from. Okay. So, interesting. Delroy, did you know that? Delroy is Yvette's husband. Elroy, did you know that she wanted to be a mortician?
He's on mute. He thinks he's talking. I can hear him.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, well, that's interesting. So what got you 15, 20 years later interested in real estate?
Okay, great question. So my mother was also a real estate agent and my dad was a broker. So I had real estate in my veins, and I married Delroy in 2018, and he was looking to transition and do something different. So he thought about real estate, and I was like, oh, that's great. So he got his license first, and I figured, you know, I have my tax business and I can kind of catapult that into real estate. And that's exactly what happened.
Right. Okay, good. So you joined a local company.
I did.
Started listing and selling houses. And you actually joined our company when?
In 2020, right during COVID, right around July. I was with another broker where initially all I was doing was buyer sales. And that was a bit tiring, and it was only with my clients. So I found a lot of my clients' houses during that time in 2019. And I was on YouTube and I saw this guy named Mike Ferry, and he was talking and I was listening, and I just soaked up everything he said. Then I saw another guy in a blue suit. You know who that could be?
How many guesses do I get?
One. That was Neil Schwartz in a blue suit. At that time, I didn't know. And I just thought that was fascinating. I love the suit. I watched all of the videos and interviews that you did with folks who I didn't know at that time, but now I've had the opportunity to meet, which is awesome. And at that time, I said to Delroy, I said, we got to go to Century 21 Masters. So he went first, because I started getting listings. And so I wanted those listings to close.
Uh-huh.
And when they did, then I went to Masters, and it's the best thing that I did.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you started as a buyer's agent. Again, you're running a completely separate company. How many people in that company?
Total of 5.
5. Okay. And you're the chief rainmaker?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and about how many tax returns do you guys work on a year?
About 600.
600. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So 600 people in your database, more or less?
Oh, it's probably about 700. Some people come and they go. People move out of state, so I don't get rid of them. I just keep them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So, I mean, but you have this really successful business. I mean, without going into the numbers,
Sure.
You make a really nice living at it, and it's provided well for your family, over the years, right?
Absolutely.
Right. But then why would you want to go into real estate? Was it only to augment each other, or was it to replace it? What was the original thought?
The original thought was that originally I just wanted to support Delroy, and I could not talk about real estate or do any of that with my clients unless I had a license. So my plan initially wasn't to really be where I am, but happily it happened that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very cool. So your first year as a buyer's agent was about a half a year, right?
Yes. Yeah.
About how many sales? How many buyer sides?
6.
Okay. And all buyers?
All buyers.
And did these buyers come from your company? Those leads that you just transferred over, or did you find them somewhere else?
The latter part. So they all came from my tax business.
Okay.
Every last one of them.
So you really were leveraging your past client sphere base.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second year, you started to learn how to take listings.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were being coached by Mike Ferry at the time?
Yes. So when in 2019, before we moved over to Masters, we had gone to a Mike Ferry event in Anaheim, and I was blown away, and we were like totally sold on the system, and immediately signed up, and then Delroy started with Masters, and then I came over soon after. But it was a total different vision and mindset from the broker that I was with before, because they didn't talk about listings, they didn't talk about any of that stuff. So initially it was foreign to me. I didn't know the difference. But it just worked out so far.
So you shifted offices mid-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You were a buyer's agent primarily, shifting to be a listing agent, and you did it during the craziness of COVID. That scary at all?
No, well, it wasn't, because while Delroy was with Masters, I was still feeding off of what you guys were doing, even though I was with my other broker. So I was still feeding off of that, and you guys were on Zoom. So it was interesting. It was different, and it was exciting at the same time. You know, the whole country was going through something just really horrible, but this was very exciting. This real estate thing.
So you actually had your feet in two different organizations at the same time.
Yeah.
And the other organization was very large. I mean, they had over 1,000 agents, maybe.
Yes.
More,
Yeah.
1,500 agents.
Mm-hmm. and they didn't have a platform where the agents could land during that time.
Right.
So, we were bobbing and weaving, trying to figure out where we were going to be. But Delroy was on this Zoom. So he was on camera and I was on the opposite side, just, listening. And It was, like day and night.
Totally interesting. Yeah. Okay. Then you came on board, you got yourself settled in, and that first year combined, you did something around 200,000 between both companies, something like that?
With both companies, last year in 2020, we did about 223.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot you're a numbers person.
No,
I said 220.
I'm not.
I don't know how you can not be a numbers person and own an accountancy company.
I know, I'm in denial. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but that's okay. We'll let that go.
Okay, thank you. So that was in 2020. That's where we were, and then my accountancy is probably around 4, a little bit under 4. So that was nice, but not enough. Right.
So what happened in 2021?
In 2021, it was just awesome. I mean, we did only listings. The only time that we did buyers is on an up leg. So if there was an up leg, we did that. But my focus was, 100% Mike Ferry, masters, and mastering scripts and studying and writing the scripts and just immersing, the teaching that we were given. And it has, and it will, it's serving me well. I mean, I'm excited every day.
Well, it's serving you very well. Now, here you are, a person, arguably pretty busy, earning in excess of $400,000 a year in the accountancy business. In 20, you earned a couple $100,000 in the real estate business. In 21, over 3, right?
Oh,
Almost
yeah.
4. Yeah. Did you hit? I forgot. Did you hit 4?
With just masters?
21. Yeah.
21. No. You mean for real estate?
Correct.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So you ended up combined though with the two businesses in excess of $700,000 though?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Awesome.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about you, Yvette, and I note this a number of times, you really don't look like you're breaking a sweat. You really don't run around like a kookaloo, like you're running around crazy with a one-arm paper hanger. You show up, I would say, I'm guessing now, I don't have the exact numbers, but I would say 95, 96% of the role plays that we do, you're at.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm committed to that.
You find time for that every morning. So how important is role play and learning your scripts and dialogues to your presentation and keeping your real estate business streamlined?
It's extremely, extremely important.
Okay.
I could not be placed in front of a seller without the tools that I've been given to do this, because, Mike Ferry, and you always say, and that you just have to learn 7 scripts. That's it, right? You just have to learn that. And you have to learn the personality types and how to ask questions and be methodical about it. So it's something that I've taken on, I've committed to do. So, every morning from 8 to 9, I'm here. And then from 9 to about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'm calling. And then I leave my home office and I go to my tax office. Mm-hmm. And I get more contacts in there. So it is a schedule that I have, and it took me a while to develop it and keep it. So it's, as everybody knows, it's you get distracted and it's difficult, but you find a way and you get committed and you just persevere.
So was your original plan to use real estate to out-earn the accountancy, or was it just to augment what you were making in the accountancy business?
It was the latter. It was just to kind of augment, to make it. And what's so funny is that I think I had mentioned it to you, is that I keep my tax business now just because of real estate. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. Is because it is a source. I mean, clearly I have secrets of my clients, right? From data secrets in terms of Social Security numbers, all that great stuff. And it's a natural progression that they will allow me to handle, one of the biggest assets that they have. And it's not easy. It is definitely a step up, but it's not easy. So I don't take anything for granted. If a client calls me and says, hey, I'm thinking about listing my property, I give them the same CMA. I ask the same questions. I take nothing for granted.
Good for you. Good for you. So will it be this year that you think you'll out-earn your accountancy business and the real estate business?
Yeah, it will be.
It will be this year. So it took you basically 3 years to dwarf the income of the business that took you 15 years or 20 years to build.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the opportunity in this field is spectacular.
It's amazing.
Good for you. Good
Yeah,
for you. Good stuff.
Really is.
Okay, so let's talk about touching your past clients here and taking care of them. Okay, let's talk about great customer service, obsessive customer service, because that's kind of what I see you're doing. Clearly, you've built an accountancy business by good customer service, or you wouldn't have 700 clients, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so how did you transfer that over here? What do you do to take care of your real estate clients who are kind of your accountancy clients too?
Right, yeah. Customer service is huge for me. Because I am not the cheapest, I'm not one of the big box companies. I am a mom and pop, but I'm not as cheap as those companies. So my dollars in my real estate per tax return are, they're up there. So, and the reason why people pay obviously is because of my staff and the customer service. So we go above and beyond what people expect. And it has given me 20 plus years. So I just kind of parlay that into real estate, and they expect it, and I exude it because I want everyone to walk away with a great memory of what we did for them. I mean, it's just, you can't believe what Delroy and I do. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that we walk dogs, we pick up poop. It's unbelievable. And we do it because it's a service. It's not something that a real estate agent would do. Most agents would not do that, but we have developed a long time client base with that. And customer service is key. I mean, it's just key. Yeah.
So not everybody has a database like yours.
Right.
What would
Yeah.
you recommend to some of our newer agents to help build their business in today's world? What 2 or 3 things could you give them that would maybe get them a few listings or sales right now?
That's a great question. You know, I had a mastermind today, and Tim said something very interesting. His goal was to get 100 people in his database. And he did very well in doing that. He got 60, which I think is phenomenal. And that's
a very
what,
short period of time, right?
Yeah. Right. And that's what we have to do is every time you see somebody, even if I'm in the grocery store and someone's behind me, I always like to catch up on a conversation. You know, you look in their basket and you see what they have, or, you know, you say it's a nice day, and you develop a conversation. And what you do is you train the muscle to not to, you have to keep talking to people. And that's how you build your database, and you ask people for business. See, I never did that in taxes because I didn't have to do it, because people would send people to me. So I never had to compete. But here I got agents on this Zoom that are awesome. So any in my market, right? So I have to compete every day. So I have to do the work and collect the names. And I don't even rely on my database to bring me what I need. I mean, the transactions that I've closed this year are referrals of the database. I haven't even hit my database. All my listings right now are from my COI referrals, not my database. So I don't rely on it.
That's great. So you're actually pulling business. You're not getting direct business. You're getting the indirect business.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
intentional,
or is that intentional? Is that something that you started doing at the beginning of this year, or the end of last year?
It was the training, you know, that you implemented, and asking for business. I used to be embarrassed, you know, people know I'm in real estate. I mean, why do I have to keep asking? Why do I have to keep reminding them? But I can tell you that because I have such a large database, it takes me a while to get through everybody. And more than one time have I called a client and they've said to me, "Oh, Yvette," you hear those dreaded words, "I forgot. My next door neighbor was selling his house." So, you know, every day I have to make sure that I get through that database, and I let people know, and I ask for business.
And you're not embarrassed to ask for business?
No, because I'm not embarrassed to eat, and I'm not embarrassed to drive my car.
Love it. I love it. Fantastic. Really good. So do you have a particular CRM that you use, or what, how do you stay in touch with these people?
I have a CRM. I met this guy at Mike Ferry, and he is an analytical, and he developed this program. And so I've been using this for 3 years. Funny enough, he just called me last night that the program is dissolving. So I have to find another CRM.
What were you using? What was it?
It's called Agent Pep.
Huh. Okay.
And I use it every day. So, you know, every time I speak to somebody, I log it in and I put down, you know, the name of their dog, their mother, what's going on with everybody that they mentioned to me. I put it on my follow-up so that when I circle back with them, then I say to them, "So how's the dog?" or "How's your mom? What's going on?" So it is obviously all CRMs are good. And this is the tool that helps me remember.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Let's open it up for some questions. Are you willing to take a few questions, Yvette?
Absolutely.
All right. So questions for Yvette on how she's done, well, basically really nicely in 3.5 years building her business, and her business this year will dwarf her accountancy business that she built for 20 years. So yes, is this a great world?
It is.
Good stuff. Questions? Anyone speak up, please, or raise your hand. Somebody got their hand up here.
So Yvette, outside of database, what other sources are you calling?
Great question, Robert. I call, so if I get a referral from a client in my database, I use that. So my COI, for sale by owners. And I think that I keep up with my clients that are out of state that, we've sold their house and they've moved out of state. That's about 15. And some of those are in my database, originally my clients, and some of those are not. So my database is pretty big and it keeps me really busy. But I love for sale by owners too.
Good.
Yvette, do you spend any time on your just listed, just sold? Calling around?
I don't. Delroy does that. Yeah, I like a warm market. I was telling Neil and my coach that I like to have a warm market. I will do the for sale by owners because I know they take time to kind of cure up. You got to touch those guys a lot. And so, sometimes I get beat up on it, but it's all right. It will, I'm planting my seeds and my fruit will spring up.
Hello, Yvette.
Great question.
Yvette, I got a question. Why did you divide the COI from the database, or what is the, because some of us, we put it all together, the COI and the database. What is the difference, or why you doing this?
I mainly do it so that I can kind of keep track on where my business is coming from. Because, I want to go wide, but I also want to go deep. So I just keep track of that. And it's kind of worked well. At some point, I will, because I have to find a new CRM, probably merge the both of them together and just create one. But that's the originally reason why I did that.
So the database are just only transactions that you close, or for sale by owners, or what is it?
Great question. So my database is my tax business. That's my database, plus sellers that I have sold property to. Does that make sense? So it definitely is probably a little bit different than the normal agent, but that's just because I've kind of parlayed my existing business to this business.
Well, okay, sounds good.
It seems like a parlay, but all superstar agents have built a database over time, and they work the database. And what you've done is you had a database that you've treated nicely, good set of customers, and then you just took it into this business with you. Okay,
Yeah.
It's a very natural progression, and so you took the 15, 20 years of building the database, which is what we're supposed to do with our database.
Right.
You just did that in another business, and then you switched it over to here. Every business works the same.
Mm-hmm.
People are just looking and saying, well, but she had this. Well, yeah, but she did 15 years worth of effort to build that group and then took it over here and was able to parlay it. The point is that database for you, think about this, that database for you is absolute platinum for you, everyone here.
Right.
And you have to keep building it. Look what you've done, Yvette. I mean, it's truly spectacular, and maybe not even as spectacular as we think it is, because this is natural.
It is.
Build your database, spend 20 years doing it, take it with you to the next business. That's what you did.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. I love this.
What a great story.
It's a fabulous story. Absolutely,
I
Sylvia.
wanna make a comment. It's an amazing story because she was meant to go into real estate. She has all these people already that trust her and believe in her. And that's what real estate is all about. They trust us, they believe in us, we know we're the best. But what a great story. I've never heard a story like that in real estate. Congratulations. on
Oh,
doing
thank
what
you.
did. And it's almost like magic that you had to go into real estate because you have all these people that trust you.
Absolutely. I agree.
Thank you for
I
sharing.
agree.
That was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
And that's what we have to remember with every single past client and sphere. We have to treat them nicely and keep them with us on our path. You know, the truth is, Yvette, you could go sell paint to all these people too.
Of course, because if I can sell real estate, I can sell paint.
You could sell paint to all this 720 people. You just happen to be selling real
Real
estate.
estate, right.
Yeah.
Don't
If you
give her any
treat-
ideas, Neil. Let's keep her focused on real estate.
Well, she wouldn't make as much money
That'll be
in
a
paint,
third job.
but she could sell paint.
Great, fabulous story.
Yeah.
I have a question, Yvette. Congratulations. Thank you, Neil. So when you talk to your existing database from your accountancy clientele,
Right.
how do you say, or what do you say to them for the transition from your accounting service to real estate service?
Yeah, that's a great question because initially it took me a little bit of time to develop that, Iris, because I wanted to make sure that my tax clients didn't think I was abandoning them, right? But I've developed, I mean, my staff has been with me for over 20 years. So I've developed that trust, not just with me, but with other members on my team. So when I'm not there like now, so when I go into the office, there's no chaos because everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And when I talk to my clients, you know, we're talking about taxes, obviously, and it will parlay. If they don't parlay it, I'm going to parlay it into a real estate question. I know if they have rentals. I know if they have a trust. I know if they owe taxes. You know, I have a lot of information that makes it much easier for me to kind of navigate through that. But it was important for me to let folks know that creative tax is still creative tax. We're still operating the same. And we've only added real estate as a bullet point to help them.
Stuff.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you, Yvette.
question, Iris. Good stuff.
Great
All right. Other questions for Yvette?
Hey, Neil, I got a question. You know, sometimes we don't want to tell the client, we're talking about a real estate client, not just your, current client, like in her case for taxes, that you're doing something else. They just want your real estate agent to be full-time and doing everything for you. And if we tell them, like in her case, what's in our case, that we're doing something else, sometimes could be negative for that client. I don't know. I wonder, how is that seen,
That's a great question because I was concerned about that also. And I'm very mindful about it. So when I meet someone I don't know, I don't literally out the gate tell them that I also have a tax business. So I have to develop that trust with them and they'll ask me about taxes and I know the answer really easily.
Right.
So
Correct.
it is a natural progression. So I tell them that, I am an owner of a tax business. And if you need guidance, I can give you a phone number of my CPA.
Correct.
So
That's
a
awesome.
CPA that I have in my office. But it's a great question because I was concerned about that too. Like you said, people want you to be focused on them. And if you're, driving a bus, doing real estate, doing taxes at home, it makes you a hodgepodge. And nobody wants a hodgepodge handling their biggest asset.
Great answer. Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Michael. Thank you. All right.
I have a question for Yvette. if I
Please go
may.
ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, as far as a marketing piece from a real estate agent out to your database, are there any questions or not questions, any information that we could send that would not get us in trouble as far as being a CPA, but to help them during this tax season? Anything that we could, offer up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one good thing is that you probably want to let people know the filing date because it changes. It changes, not April 15th, it's April the 18th. I think that's good information for people to know that the IRS is running behind as they do every year. That's a great thing for folks to know and to make sure they get all their stimulus payments. So something just very surface that gives you credibility. And, so it's not so much as that you're doing something off base, you're just adding to the pot of what you do.
Very good. Thank you very much.
I have to get my stimulus check. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I have something to say. I want to affirm Yvette first, and then I have a two-part question for you, if you don't mind. But I just want to see you glow. There's just something magnificent about you. And I like to think that I have the coach's eye, but you're very special. And it just what you bring to the virtual office when you show up too, and you're just pure good nature and you're humble. And I would have never, ever in a million years thought that you started in 2018. So I just think it's a testimony to your strengths. And so thank you for what you bring to the office. And I hear that, is it an analytical that you are?
That's what they say.
Okay. So my second part to that question is, what questions or strength as an analytical, when you're talking to your clients, what are those keys? Because I think it's what parts of what I think makes you special is you can tell that when you're talking to you, that you're gathering information to make the best decision for your client. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some questions that are like that ding, 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 when you feel like you get that answer?
You mean when they're talking to me or when I'm talking to them?
When you're talking to them, what are some questions that are the winning question as an analytical?
Right. So it is, let's run the numbers. Let's see what that pans out to be. You don't want to make a quick decision. So it's all about the numbers. It's the numbers. Let's take some time to go over it together. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Thank you so much.
So isn't it interesting? I mean, great question, Noelle, and wonderful answer to that. And I just want to bring out the obvious is that the way she answered the question had to do with numbers. And numbers happens to be how analyticals talk. So, Yvette, you're an analytical. It's okay. You just happen to be a nice analytical.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. I'm still learning how to handle expressives. I have to rein those guys in, and that drivers I can do. A driver, great. Amiable, wonderful. But an expressive, that's difficult for me. So I'm working on it.
Yvette, what are the biggest challenges you face in 2022 balancing your two careers?
Scheduling. I think I always have to keep on track on that scheduling because my office is open all year long. So we do taxes from January 1st to December 31st. We don't have a break. And right now it's a little bit, I keep my same schedule. I'm working at the office a little bit later. I try not to work past 6 o'clock and I'm in there like 1 o'clock, but I am focused. I can get more done at that time frame than I would in 8 hours. So it is mostly the schedule and putting that into play and executing it. And when it doesn't work, I have to kind of tweak it, to make sure that that works. Because strangely, I literally work and, Neil says to take time off, but I don't know what time off is. I don't have long here. So I like what I do. So it makes it easier. And I don't have to do business with people who I don't like. And that's great. And I'm okay with it.
Well, Mike would say the tighter your schedule is, the more free time you have. So
Yeah.
your schedule sounds pretty tight. And you're great at the rapid fire role play, by the way.
Ah,
I enjoy
thank
listening
you,
to you.
Fred. You're awesome.
Good job. Excellent. Okay. Other
Neil.
questions? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Michael.
Yeah, after April 18, her schedule, of course, after the season is over, is the schedule change for her? Is a little different how you work from June to December?
No, it's the same. It's the same. I don't work at my office. I used to work at the office 7 days a week before COVID. So COVID really helped my schedule because it has trained my tax clients. They don't come in my office because we do everything by computer. They'll drop off, or we have a portal, they'll do that. But yeah, it is. My schedule won't change. It's the same in the morning with real estate, that I leave my home office and I go to my tax office. Now I may leave a little bit earlier, before 6 o'clock, but it's virtually the same.
The reason I ask you is not, I know you're doing the same, but after April, when the people do file taxes, they don't diminish the business and taxes anymore after June, and then you can concentrate more on real estate, or is the same the whole year around?
Great question. So what happens is that not everybody files by April 15th. Like Neil wants all of us to file by April 15th. Not everybody does that. So we have extensions.
How is that possible?
Wait, Yvette, do
Yeah.
you have I don't know if there's a national percentage, I assume there is, but for your tax business, what percentage of people don't file by April 15th?
About 2/3 of people don't file.
Don't file.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, so we have those, and I put clients on extension by design. I started that like 15 years ago. Is that I put them because I can't handle 700 people coming in at the same time. So we put them on extension. We have corporations, partnerships, LLCs, and those things are due later in the year. So that's why we're open all year long, because we have business all year long. So I have to have my schedule. It's the same. I don't taper from that, because if I do, I'll lose consistency and I'll get lazy.
And complacent.
I have been known to do that, Neil Schwartz.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But this year you're going to
Question.
go over $1 million for everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and more. Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
More is better. Closed and pending for the first 2 months for you have been what?
So close 3 already as of I'm looking at my board. So in February, so
Right.
3 in February, and I am 1/3 right now where I was like for last year.
Right.
Does that make
All
sense?
of last year, you've already closed and pending, have 1/3 done.
Yeah, more than that. I'm not even including my pending. So just the closed.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Very cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So you're going to have a killer year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the
All right.
plan.
You're crushing it. I like it. And does anybody think she looks like she's working too hard? No, huh? And I know you work hard. See that, we have a few agents in the company that are like that. You happen to be one of them, that they do an enormous amount of business, and you do an enormous amount of business in 2 businesses,
Yeah.
and you really don't look any worse for the wear. And I know you work hard. So it's something in the nature. Maybe it's you send Delroy all around the country. I don't know, but
Yeah, he
whatever.
likes that.
good.
I have a
All right.
question.
Go ahead, Tess.
First of all, I want to congratulate you. You are a hardworking woman, I have to say, very hardworking. So I have a question in reference to your husband, Delroy. I mean, how does he play this? Is he your buyer agent, or how does he help you in the business?
Great question. Sorry about that. Great question. So we do it in tandem. So we go to listing presentations together because it's important for them to see the team. And so he takes care of the inspections, the appraisals, anytime, we have keys for clients. If we have to let somebody in or out, he takes care of the tenants. He's really good at that. I call him boots on the ground. So I am what you call probably the brains of it all. No taking back from Delroy, but he likes the other part of the business. So and it's been a challenge, right? Because you don't want to get in the way. And so we work together and we're married. Okay.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's true.
I have one at home, so I do believe you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fine line.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's good. Congratulations, Yvette.
Thank you, Tess. Yeah.
Good job.
You guys are awesome. Listen, let me just say this before we depart, is that, when Neil asked me to do this, I said to him, surely you have someone else that you could get this done with. And I never take anything for granted. And I'm so humble and I'm so grateful to be around all of you guys. And I've had an opportunity to either talk to you on the phone or meet you at a Mike Ferry event. And I'm in awe when I hear you guys with this role play. I mean, I would go up against anybody in here in a listing presentation, and I guarantee you the seller would have a hard time because you guys are fantastic.
All right. I love it. Great way to close. Yvette, we love it. We appreciate you. Unmute yourselves. Let's give her a big hand. Woo! All right.
Yes.
Woo!
All right, Yvette.
Thank you. Very much.
Very, very good. Very good. Yvette.
Yes.
So as we always do, we do a real quick, what did we learn? So I understand if you have a hard stop, you have all kinds of things on your plate. But if
I'm
you
good
wanna
right now.
hang with us, let's see what we've got here. So Josie, what did you learn today?
I love where she said she goes to the market and starts to talk conversations with people just to keep in practice and asking them questions. That's great.
Yeah, very, very good. Excellent. Good thought. Okay, what else we learned today? Others?
I also thought that was interesting. I was going to ask you, Yvette, by the way, thank you. When I first came here, you were one of the first persons that I got a chance to role play with. And that was one of the reasons I said, you know what, I got to switch and get over to this place because what these guys are doing, I want to be a part of it. So I didn't waste any time. I jumped ship. So I thank you for that.
Oh, you hear that, Neil? Ching, ching.
I hear that. I hear that.
So I too have been learning to just go out and just talk to people. And I kind of did the same thing. So I've been walking down the street, just going into different business and getting comfortable with speaking to people and adding them to the database. So what are some of the other things that you may say to start a conversation or bring up the topic of anything about talking to people about real estate that you don't know?
Oh, that's excellent. It's a nice day, isn't it? How about those Lakers? Did you see that Super Bowl? So those things like that will exude a conversation. And, you know, you can see if somebody is a sports fan, right? Or, you know, everybody, you can say, how's the day? It's a nice day. So it's just those little things that little nuggets, like Neil says, that you can kind of drop for people. And Tyrone, I commend you for doing that because that's not easy. Putting yourself out there and having someone think something about you that's not true, and most people are impressed with that and they just don't say it. So you just keep exercising that muscle and doing that, and it will be like habit. It's just like the role play that we do. I understand you want to list high, it's all of that stuff. It will just come out of your mouth very easily. And good job for that.
Excellent stuff. Tyrone, now I understand why I get calls from people about you that say, hey, this guy's walking around town talking to himself.
All right.
All right, good stuff. Patty, go ahead.
Hi, Yvette and Neil, and thank you so much, Yvette. Yeah, there really is something special about you. Two of the things that come to my mind is, well, three, you're gorgeous. Second one is that you are humble and you have that make me feel important thing. Because even when you're talking to us, even when you talk to me, it's like you make me feel important, which is really, really beautiful. And the other thing is that you don't seem to get wrapped up in emotions. You're very calm and you talk with a really nice pace. It's not too slow. It's not too fast, not too up, not too down. It's just very professional. I just love it. So thanks so much for opening up to all of us.
Thank you. It took some time to do.
Well,
So
you've done a great job with it. Good comment, Patty, and great work, Yvette. Go ahead. Anyone else want to share what they learned?
Neil, so it's true that what you're saying that we are in the talking to people business, I guess.
Yeah, that is true, Michael. That is
every
true.
people we talk to.
That's right.
Yeah.
No appointments, no money.
Honey.
No money, honey. Right. Okay.
Right.
What else did we learn today? Dave, did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, actually, the importance that she put on the scripts and the practice, I really appreciate. By the way, I'm the guy that always asks you, now, how do you pronounce your first name? Is it Yvette? Yvette. That was me.
And what do I say, Dave?
Doesn't matter.
Right. Doesn't matter. Let's just go. Yeah.
Good stuff. Very, very cool. All right. What else did we learn today? Go ahead, Robert.
So Yvette, thank you so much for, even though we get to see you and be a part of this every day, it's nice to be able to have just 45 minutes to an hour of really diving into what you're doing, because just because we're all here and see each other, we don't really know everything.
Right.
And so to hear about your business is really cool. Plus, I didn't know you wanted to be a mortician. So,
funny?
learn that little tidbit today as well. Yeah. A couple things that I wrote down. One was just like Jennifer Matsumoto, who also owns an insurance business and does real estate at a very high level. Yvette's got another business she does at a really high level. So the question I wrote down, same thing as Jennifer, was, so what's our excuse?
Yeah.
She's got two businesses. She's got two Centurion businesses. And, so what's our excuse to get one is that. And so I wrote that down. And the second thing I wrote down is, if you build your database and work your database, you don't have to deal with any other sources.
Wow.
You don't have to beat yourself up on expireds, just listed, just sold, probate. If you build a database and you provide exceptional customer service, that's all you'll ever need to do, and you can make a fortune.
I agree with that.
Very good. Excellent. Good stuff.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay. Anna, did you have something you wanted to say? I thought I saw you come up. No? Okay. Other questions, other comments? Armin, did you have your hand up? No? Okay. All right.
Other than a great interview, Yvette.
Yeah. You did a really, really, really good job. By the way, Yvette, what's your superpower?
My superpower is perseverance, and I don't give up.
Okay. I'll attest to that. I see that. I see that in you all the time.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yep.
At it. Go ahead, Ayana.
Hey, Yvette. Thanks for sharing with us today. But just like how Tyrone said, you were I believe one of the first people I role played with as well. And I am expressive. I am very, and I am very analytical as well. And so sometimes I get caught up feeling like I have to be expressive to almost everybody I speak with. And you're not like that. So hearing you take on that, you know, letting the analytical part of you take, I don't know, take place when you're actually prospecting, and you know, like it's like a no nonsense, like this is what I'm saying, this is what it is. And it's just nice to hear that. Like, okay, I don't have to be super happy all the time. Or, you know,
Yeah.
expressive.
You know what Mike Ferry said that I told Delroy is that I am a agent among great agents, right? So there's really nothing special about me. But what is different that I hear from my clients is that I'm so energetic and I'm excited to hear from them. I mean, when somebody calls me, I'm like, hi, how you doing? What's going on? I'm excited to generally hear from them. So enthusiasticness will beat up experience every day. So fake it until you make it, and just be excited and never be afraid to say, I don't know. I'll get that information for you. Okay.
That's beautiful. Good work, Yvette. Riva, you had a question for Yvette?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been here, but I was wanting to comment that two things that I got from her was, one, that she had a schedule. And it kind of brought back to that book, you know, the 80-20 concept to me. Like, she used her time that she knew she had effectively and, you know, to get things done. And the second thing was, I think the transition for her may have been easy from what I heard, was because was a lot easier for her than maybe others, was because her heart was already into service towards her clients, that she saw this opportunity how she could help her clients further. She was already helping them with their taxes, and now she thought, hey, you know, I wish I could help them with this in the real estate, but I need to get my license. So her service attitude and wanting to help, I think, was a driving force, you know, and she also is going to benefit financially, both for her clients and for herself. So I thought it was beautiful.
That's a great observation.
Thanks, Riva.
Okay, let's unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves. Let's give her a big hand. Woo! All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Great job, Yvette. Congratulations.
Thank you, Yvette.
I'm sorry I went over so much time.
Good job.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Thank you.